Hello and welcome to step 2. I want to first and foremost congratulate you on completing step 1. You are now a crawler. Just like the first step in seeing your baby walk, they first needed to crawl. And a lot of people want to skip forward and skip the steps and Aaron, just tell me what I need to do to get my end result. And yes, I could do all the work, I could tell you all the secrets, but if you don't build the foundations, what you just built, you will lack in motivation. When you lack in motivation, you won't get going. You'll start and you'll stop things. You'll get excited Monday to Tuesday. When it comes Wednesday to Friday, you'll eventually dwindle in your motivation. So congratulations for completing step 1. There was clear outcomes that you needed to complete in order to set the foundations right for the building. Okay, so I'm really proud of where you are. Now we're going to move on to the next stage, which is step 2 and where you are right now. Step 2 is called the walker phase. Now we're going to start to progress you. You've built the foundations. And the second problem that you're going to come across now is that you'll be inconsistent in your training, nutrition, and in your habits. Long-term habits that are going to last. Because in the past, you relied on motivation. You relied on motivation, and as a result, your motivation goes up and it goes down just like anyone. So when the seasons were good and life was good, you were doing all the things you need to do with your training and nutrition. But when it came to kids being busy, you were busy, kids got sick, you got injured, you came across financial troubles, whatever it was, you stopped. And so life, as we know, goes up and down. So did your motivation. You were good and then you were bad. You were good and then you were bad. When you got to the end of the year, you stayed the same because you couldn't seem to stay consistent for more than a month. So my goal for you is that once you conquer this step 2, is that we're going to instill habits that are going to last 12 months, 1 year, 2 years, and for the rest of your life. So habits, as they sound, they're not a sexy thing. And that's what the fitness industry is not telling you. They're telling you you can do this, you can take this pill, take this shake, and you don't have to do any work. Unfortunately, it's those people that are not willing to put in the basics, do the habits well, they end up not where they want to be and more frustrated, more demotivated than ever. So the fact that you're here, you're watching this video, I know you're serious about getting long-term results. And I'm going to tell you the truth about how to get long-lasting results. Everyone can get results. It's only a few percentage of people that can actually maintain the results. So step 2, what's step 2 about? It's called the walker phase. Okay, when you've completed the outcomes in step 2, you are now a walker, working closer towards rediscovering your identity, losing the weight that you need to lose, as well as rediscover who you are, who's the person you need to become, and ultimately being happy. So let's see where you are now. You've built the foundations. And you are here again at point A. And like always, we want to move towards a point where we can see, which is point B. So right now you're at point A, you've built the foundations, and we want to instill the habits now, okay, which is going to stop you from being inconsistent. And if you're watching this right now, I know you can think of times where you started programs, you got really excited in the first month, and when life got hard, you stopped. So I want to teach you how to build habits regardless of what's going on in your life. If kids are sick, if you're not sleeping well, if unforeseen circumstances come in your way, that you can still instill these training habits, nutrition habits, and time for you. So what are the outcomes you need in order for you to pass this stage? First one is making sure that we track your food for training for 30 days. Now you might be thinking, Aaron, I just tracked it for the last 30 days. Look, I get it and I congratulate you on that, but many people can do that. We want to push you so that in this phase, you have tracked your food consistently for 60 days. So in that, you've made your nutrition a priority, which is going to give you energy, but also help you, whatever season you're going through, that you can track your food and know what am I putting into my mouth? Am I putting good fuel in order for me to get the results I'm truly after? Regardless of what season I am, this is the habit that I want you to build around your food because it's the fuel source, which is going to give you energy. If you have no energy, then you can't then operate at your full potential. The next thing I want you to do is again, track your training for 30 days. Okay, training is a fuel to life. It's also a place in the life of a mum where you can get time to yourself, become stronger physically and mentally, and a time for you as well. So tracking your food for 30 days, tracking your training for 30 days. Okay, this is the outcome we want you to achieve. And at this phase, okay, is to become a walker. Track your food for 30, track your training. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is time for you. So we want to do 30 days of a morning routine. Now, The steps that we've done in here is not just random. It's by data, seeing it through my own mum, implementing this on my own mum, and hundreds of other mums who felt like you. So the reasons we put this in place, it's not like, okay, throw in a morning routine, just track your training for 30 days and hopefully things will happen. No, it's specific in what we're doing. And if you follow this path to a T, there is no doubt that you can get to a place where you've got results and you've rediscovered your identity as a mum. So a morning routine, you're probably here right now because you were burnt out, you saw our ads and you were like, what does he do? And in that, you poured out to everyone else that you forgot to stand the cup upright and actually pour back into you. As a result, you neglected yourself. It's like you have a car, you poured petrol into it to a full tank, and then you drove it and it came down to empty and it was time to pour back in. But there was no petrol stations around, so you kept driving. And in that process, the steering wheel starts to go, the handbrake doesn't work, the brake doesn't work, and the car breaks down. So that's the analogy I like to use in the life of a mum. And you might be thinking, Aaron, I care for my kid. I need to be there. You don't. I totally get it. It's tough. And no one tells you that being a mum is tough. But what's tougher is trying to lead your kids, trying to look after your kids, your own life, running on empty. So the 30 days of a morning routine is going to be a time for you. A time where you can pour back into you. And you might be thinking, Aaron, what happens if I have bad sleep? What happens if my kids are sick and are up all night? Look, I get it. But in that process, you're training your brain whenever you're feeling those emotions to give yourself a rest. And obviously there's a time for rest and there's a time for a place where you need to look after yourself and not wake up early. But I want to train you that when you do wake up early and you spend 10 minutes on yourself, and you can then pour out on you. If you wake up 10 minutes earlier so that you can fill time for you, a time for a place where you can control, a time where you can see what your day is going to be like, visualize, meditate, be grateful, and then operate from that place. Rather than wake up, alarm straight into your day, you're being pulled in different directions. It's like there's everyone on different parts of your body. One, your kids on your arms, your partner's on the other arm, you've got family on the arm, you've got work, career, assembly items you need to go to, and you're being pulled in different directions. And it's only a matter of time before you can no longer take it. But what I've seen in mums that have come through our program is throwing a morning routine into your process and getting into that habit of 10 minutes for you. But across the week, that's 70 minutes for you. And you might be thinking, 70 minutes? I wish I had 70 minutes. That's right. So we break it down where you're building 10 minutes, 10-minute blocks, and you're waking up earlier. And sacrificing the sleep, because if you do that, you set the attention for the day, you're also more in control of your emotions. You know exactly what you need to do today, and things come into place that are not in the plan. You know how to deal with it because you've visualized it. You've also trained your mind to react in a way that's really positive for you. So in this morning routine, what could you do? Okay, you can do journaling. You might want to write down what you got to do today. What are the 3 tasks you need to do? What are you grateful for? And you want to spend a minimum of 10 minutes. Okay, a lot of our mums, they meditate. They use the app called Headspace. Okay, 10 minutes of someone guiding you through. You might want to do a workout. Okay, you might want to listen to music. You might want to go for walks. This 10 minutes is purely for you, no one else, no distractions. It's 10 minutes of time for you. And then you might start to build on this, but I want to build this small little habit first of 10 minutes for you. And in that time, if you have a crazy day and things go out of your control, you can come back to this place for 10 minutes of you, and you can have that sense of control, that time for you to pour back into you. Now you have this place where it's for you, it's consistent, and it's a time where you can always refuel. Whatever day you've had, you can always come back to this place. Now we got mums in our programs that are doing a morning routine and they're doing a night routine. So they're refueling themselves at the start of the day, at the end of the day. So they feel like they're consistently in control of their lives, regardless of what life throws at them. They know they have 2 safe havens that they can go through to outward their emotions, a place where they can de-stress, and time to refuel. And it's just like a race car driver. They come into the pit, they change their tires, they get new tires, they put petrol in the car, and they're good to go again. So this is a pit stop for you to fill into you and to ultimately get to a place where you want to be. So 30 days of food, 30 days of training, and 30 days of a morning routine. Now, that's all we want you to focus on, okay, is time for you, training, and food. At the end of the month, you'll fill out a form, and it'll be a very simple yes or no. Did I track my training? Did I track my food? And have I done 30 days of a morning routine? From there, once you've completed those 3, you will go live in the group and tell us your revelations that you have achieved in the process of going through the walker phase and then moving on to the next step. This is the most exciting step. If you can complete this step, you are now moving a step closer to rediscovering your identity, losing the weight that you're wanting to lose, and being truly happy. These are the outcomes. They're very clear on what you need to achieve. If it takes you 30 days, if it takes you more, that's okay. But we will not pass this phase till we can complete these 3 outcomes. They're really, really important for you. And once you've completed this, I want to congratulate you because you're going to move on to the next step, when the next step is the jogger. And we're going to go through what are the outcomes that you need to achieve there. But first, I want you to focus on this month, 30 days of tracking your food, 30 days of training, and 30 days of a morning routine that's ultimately going to fill into you so then you can pour into your kids. I'm really excited for this phase, for this step, and to see the progress in you that you're going to achieve, and then see your revelations that you have achieved over this month or however long it takes you, and getting you closer to where you want to be.